Parles-tu français? Hablas español? Parli italiano? If you've used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world. With lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Wondery. Spelled BABBEL.com/Wondery. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Oh, hey.
Hey, thanks for meeting me here on such short notice. This place isn't bugged, is it?
Bugged? Wait, Jamie, what's going on?
It's just, you're my only lawyer friend, and I need your professional opinion. Do you see that brand new Hyundai Tucson out there?
Yeah?
That's all I paid for it.
I think I need to get back to you on that.
Do you know what you want?
Yeah, I do now.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. Get the car or SUV you've always wanted, plus America's best warranty at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. The guilt is real, but so is the savings.
Listen, I don't want to get in your business, but if that's all she paid for it, I'll have what she's having.
It's a great day for a new Hyundai at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event going on now. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Palisade, Santa Fe, and Santa Fe hybrid models. And check out our other great deals at your Hyundai dealer today. Offer ends September 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's a Football Friday edition of AFR live from Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are presented today by our friends over at Pinhook Bourbon. Cannot wait to tell you more about that collab as we move throughout the day. Man, if you are just finally ready for football, come kick off your football weekend here with us at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Kind of drizzly, rainy. Forget all that. Come get you a cocktail, smoke you a cigar, hang out with us because we're talking football. A lot of LSU Clemson over the next 3 hours, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. But let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
I failed to mention, my apologies, no Terrio today. Macy Terrio, shout out. Freshman track star at LSU is running in her first collegiate meet today. So I told Ryan, you're not even welcome on the show today. You don't even have a decision to make. You're not invited to be on the show today. You're going to watch your daughter run. So no Terrio today, but Phil Steele in less than 15 minutes. Pete Futak coming up in hour number 2. We will have our tailgate segment. Chris Doring will be here as well with us. Our celebrity guest picker today. Look, we had to get some 2019 mojo. LSU beat Clemson for the Natty in 2019. We had to bring some of that 2019 mojo, so we're going to do that with our celebrity guest picker in hour number 3, so you'll want to catch that. Okay, it is confirmed a day ago when we were here talking about the AJ Haulcy reports, rumors, possibilities. Now confirmed. Brian Kelly on his radio show, give a listen, did confirm Haulcy is suspended for the first half.
The NCAA has upheld his suspension for the first half. It's unfortunate. Look, we can't, sit here and complain because the decision's been made, right? So let's move on. We got really good football players, and the safety position is in great hands, and we'll get him ready for the second half to make plays all over the field. I don't want it to be a distraction at all. It should not be even the third headline about this game. This is going to be a great game.
I want to talk about what LSU does without AJ Haulcy. Brian Kelly there said point blank he doesn't want this to be a distraction, doesn't want it to be a headline. I don't want it to be that for his team or for his coaching staff, but our job is to talk about it, so we're going to talk about it. Let me. Two things, I say oftentimes, two things can be true at the same time, and I think these things are not mutually exclusive. One is that AJ Haulcy should be suspended. Okay, there is a rule, and it is black and white. We looked at the rule book yesterday. There are no appeals. He was ejected for fighting. It was in the second half of the game. He must be suspended for the first half of the next game. It was the last game of last season, so therefore he is suspended for the first half of the first game of this season. It is this game. That is black and white. That is objectively true. There is no appeal. He is suspended. And that is the right call. It is the right decision. That is true. Also true is that it sucks royally that this didn't happen until the Wednesday before the game. The NCAA notified the University of Houston formally in writing in December of Haulcy's suspension. Haulcy transfers. The NCAA never notified LSU. They didn't notify AJ Haulcy, and clearly someone at Clemson was notified by either Houston or the NCAA. And I'm guessing it's from the University of Houston, because if the NCAA didn't tell LSU, then they clearly didn't tell Clemson, unless if someone leaked it there. And then the information we got yesterday from a spokesperson was that, yes, it was in fact Clemson who notified the NCAA of some goings-on. So my guess, again, I'm editorializing here, just to be clear. This is an editorial distinction. Someone at Houston made someone at Clemson aware, like, hey, that kid's not eligible. Clemson tells the NCAA for however long they sat on it, I don't know. And then, yes, it's been decided Haulcy can't play in the first half, and that sucks. The fact is he should be suspended. How this suspension and the timeline played out sucks, because you could have spent all of fall camp preparing for this, preparing someone else to start and play the first half. I went back and looked at my notes from last Saturday, the dress rehearsal LSU had, the 3 11-on-11 series that we got to watch. Haulcy and Cooley were your starting safeties. So they were preparing for him to start at free safety. And now, 48 hours before the game, they find out he's not going to be available for the first half. That part of it sucks. There's no other way around it. This is gamesmanship at its finest or at its worst, however you want to phrase it. It's what it is. But they'll have to move on. Brian Kelly, when he was meeting with reporters before his coach's show, was asked about the hypothetical, what if potentially Haulcy isn't there, what do they do at safety? Here's what Brian Kelly said.
Well, Deshaun Spears is playing a lot of football for us, Jordan Gilbert. So you've got, pretty good depth, Javian Toviano. We feel really good about our defensive backfield. So, like I said, we're dealing with it the same way you guys are. We're waiting for information. Once we get it, we'll adjust accordingly and be ready to play Clemson.
So initially there, he mentioned Spears and Gilbert, then also Toviano. When I go back and look at my notes, it's been Spears primarily who's been at free safety backing up AJ Haulcy. So is it Spears or potentially Jordan Gilbert? Remember, Gilbert, as we've seen the past few weeks, has been running really third team at safety and has been moved to the second team star linebacker backing up Harold Perkins. Just to illustrate the difference between these two guys, Jordan Gilbert's a guy that's played in almost 40 career football games with 21 starts. So this is a guy who has played from A&M and LSU a ton of football. Spears is a guy that was a 5-star signee a year ago and struggled early and ultimately saw in the second half of the season a year ago his playing time really diminish. So just as an illustration, against Deshaun Spears now, the 5-star from Denham. Against Southern Cal, he played 2 snaps. After that, against Nichols, this is his snap count. 28, 44, 37, 37. Then after the South Alabama game, 3, 5, 13, 8, 1. Then in the bowl game, he played 27 snaps. The point is, after that South Alabama game, when they got to Ole Miss week, they said, you know what? We're just going with the veterans. And you saw that's when they went Gilbert, Sage Ryan, Major Burns. They just went with the dudes who had played a ton of football. It's like You got higher upside with the young guys, but the veterans know where to be on the field, so they went with those guys. Even if they had a lower ceiling, higher floor, you weren't going to see the mental mistakes maybe from the veteran guys. But for instance, when you look at Deshaun Spears, his highest grades from Pro Football Focus, an 81 in run defense, a 71 in tackling. Outstanding. He was more of a liability in coverage, where his grade was just a 50. Again, that's not knowing your assignment. Look at Jordan Gilbert on the flip side of it. Gilbert's Pro Football Focus grades last year, his run defense grade, a 51. His tackling grade, a 51. His coverage grade was a 54, but I want to remind you that Gilbert played most of last season with a bum shoulder. The last time he played a full season was 2022 at A&M, and his coverage grade was a 73. So what you have here is Spears, great athlete, instinctive, downhill, great tackler, can help against the run. Gilbert, veteran guy, better in pass coverage than he is tackling it against the run. So the question Brian Kelly, Blake Baker, Jake Olson need to ask is, which skill set is better in this game? The veteran who can cover, or the super athletic young guy who's a really good downhill tackler, can help you in run defense, that sort of thing. Might be a little bit of a liability in coverage. That's what LSU's going to have to answer. That's what we'll find out in the first half. But the bottom line is, for LSU, the best case scenario is you go out there and you run the football like we've talked about all offseason. You shrink that first half, and the best defense for your defense is playing ball control offense. Keep the ball, keep Clemson's offense on the sideline. So, we'll see if LSU's able to run the football effectively and what direction they go there to start the game. But you better believe Tamarcus Cooley is going to be your starting strong safety. What do they do at free? Will it be Spears or Gilbert? We'll get that answer when LSU takes the field defensively for the first time against Clemson on Saturday night. All right, we're here at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Our show every day is open. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Tigers. You're going to be having a game watch party at your house. Remember, go to great local retailers. You'll see those white Bud Light cans and aluminum bottle, the officially licensed LSU Bud Light cans and aluminum bottles. Find them at retailers. Drink with the Tigers this football season, and the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of LSU and the official beer of AFR. All right, y'all, we are here at Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. What are you doing on this Friday? I don't care what you're doing on this Friday. You're coming to hang out here for the next 3 hours, and then tonight as well. They're going to have Auburn Baylor on tonight. You need a place to watch it. Come watch it here at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Of course, they have a limited food menu. They've got premium cocktails. They got beer. And, of course, we are presented today by Pinhook Bourbon. Laurel behind the bar. They've got free samples, by the way. Laurel behind the bar is serving up some great cocktails. They're doing a Pinhook Old Fashioned. You can drink any of their core three, the rye, the bourbon, or the cask strength bourbon as well. If you've never tried Pinhook Bourbon, trust me, y'all know I'm a bourbon guy. I could not hawk something that I didn't believe was a good product. I've been drinking Pinhook Bourbon for nearly a decade now. It is a fantastic product that is at an affordable, approachable price point. Trust me, you'll love it. If you want to try it, come hang out with us here today at Don Juan Cigar Bar. And if they don't have it at your watering hole or retailer, ask for Pinhook Bourbon. Let me knock out a quick break, y'all. When we come back, it's our weekly visit with Phil Steele. So thrilled to bring this back, previewing the biggest games of the college football weekend with the man, Phil Steele. We'll do it next here on AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. If you are thinking about building a pool, make one call. Duplessis Builders. Call Derek Duplessis over at Duplessis Builders. The process, I'll give you a little peek behind the curtain, but what I would recommend you do first and foremost is go to the website, look at the tab at the top that says Our Book, and it'll explain to you the whole process. But what you're going to do first is you're going to go to their showroom on Airline Highway in Prairieville. You're going to look at designs. They're going to hold your hand as you pick out your finishes. What tiling, coping, colors do you want? They'll hold your hand through that process, the whole design. And then they'll get on the schedule. And Derek's very upfront about how long it's going to take. They don't cut corners. They build a premium product that will last 10-year workmanship warranty. That, in part, is how you become part of Pool and Spa Magazine's top 50 pool builders in America. So check them out online at DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Injected into my veins. Football Friday. Phil Steele is back. We're at Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. Oh, my God. We get to binge on football, and Phil Steele gets to peer into his crystal ball and tell us what's going to happen before it even does. Phil, it's great to have you back. How are you?
I am doing great, Matt. How about yourself?
Fantastic, man. It is peak college football energy here, man, with LSU and Clemson, and we're going to get to that to wrap up as we always do, but fired up to talk some ball with you for another season. And, man, right out the chute here on a Friday night, we get Auburn going to Waco. Not really a traditional matchup here, but one that feels super significant for both of these head coaches, especially Hugh Freeze. Baylor is a 1.5-point dog at home as I look at it right now. Phil, which coach ultimately here is going to start their season off with a pretty significant win?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to be a really good game. And when you look at Auburn this year, Jackson Arnold wasn't overwhelming at Oklahoma, but he's got a better supporting cast to turn to here. He's got my number 6 set of receivers, number 12 offensive line, plenty of talent on the defense, led by Keldrick Falk up front. So they're a really good team this year. And remember last year, despite the losing record, they were actually plus 62 yards per game in SEC play. So I think Auburn's a dangerous team. But I'm really high on Baylor this year. Baylor is at home. They're a team that won their last 6 games of the regular season last year. They got Sawyer Robertson back at QB. They've got one of the top running backs in Bryson Washington, and a veteran team overall. Dave Aranda, of course, calling the defense. I would have had Baylor a slight favorite in this one. Since they're the dog, I'm going to lean with Baylor to pull the upset here.
Okay, an outright win there for the Baylor Bears and Dave Aranda. Of course, LSU saw Baylor in the bowl game just back in December, January. The other sort of big one tonight is Georgia Tech, Colorado. The post-Shadur Sander, Travis Hunter era there in Boulder, and Georgia Tech is going from Atlanta out to Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. But the Yellow Jackets are a 4.5-point road favorite here, Phil. Who do you like with the Jackets and the Buffs?
Yeah, I like Georgia Tech this year. I think they're a legitimate contender in the ACC. You look at Haynes King at quarterback, one of the most underrated QBs in the country, had an outstanding 14-2 ratio last year, nearly had 1,000 yards rushing. They also have Jamal Haynes back at running back. They've got a tremendous receiving duo with Malik Rutherford and Eric Rivers, who comes over from FIU. Offensive line, Brent Key has crafted a very good bunch. And defensively, I thought they made major strides stopping the run last year after going from allowing 5.4 yards per carry in 2023. They dropped it to 4.1 last year, and I think bigger improvement on the way this year. Coach Key is happy with the depth he's got on the defensive line and likes the linebackers like EJ Lightsey is a guy with NFL potential. Cornerback Amari Harvey, NFL potential. For Colorado, they nearly got to the Big 12 title game, but lose all their big names. Now, Deion Sanders is saying they're a better team this year, but I'm saying that they're not. And I think Georgia Tech is going to be able to go into Colorado, come out of there with the win. Happy that the spread is not at a touchdown or more. So I'll take the Yellow Jackets minus the 4 here.
Okay. Phil Steele's with us. Of course, philsteele.com, STEELE, philsteele.com. You go to YouTube, take the Phil Steele Plus tour. More on that in a bit. As we flip the page to Saturday, Phil, I know you're up in Big Ten country, and they like them big noon kickoffs, man, but a lot of the country wishes this was a night game. How do you feel about Texas-Ohio State being a noon Eastern kick?
Well, I don't mind. I wish it was actually a noon kick and not a 12-14 kick.
I got to remind myself, Phil is very much opposed to the big noon kickoff actually being a big noon 14 kickoff. Okay. This one, Phil, you're going to have to help me. We've seen some pretty significant line movement where the week started. Ohio State was, tell me if I'm wrong, as much as maybe a 2.5-point favorite. This is flipped now to where Texas here on Friday is a 1.5 choice. First of all, what do you make of that, of all this line movement?
Not a big deal.
Okay.
First of all, the numbers they're crossing are not major numbers. If you felt Ohio State was going to win the game, you probably felt they were going to win by more than 1 or 2. And if you felt Texas was going to win the game, generally if you cross the number 3, that's a big line number to cross. So the numbers they're crossing right now are not anything big for the game. And let's face it, Texas, the number 1 team in the country, they were the first number one ranked AP team to have a season opener and be the underdog. That has now been corrected.
So how do you see it going there at 12:14 Eastern?
I think the under is probably your best play here, Matt. You've got two quarterbacks who, Arch Manning, for all the hype, has never had a road start. And, of course, Julian Sayin for Ohio State is in his first start. I think Texas, when you look at them, they have my number one rated defense in the country. My biggest question mark would be offensive line, which loses 4 starters this year. So I don't know if Texas is going to blow away Ohio State offensively, but I do think their defense is great. And when you look at Ohio State, while they've got weapons, they've got a young quarterback, I think the key here is to not have your quarterback make mistakes. So I think we'll see conservative from both teams. You remember when they met in the playoffs last year, even with a screen pass right before the half, like 13 seconds before the half, that went 78 yards for a touchdown and a 98-yard fumble return for a touchdown. The two teams combined for 42 points. The total here is about 48. I like the under as the best play here. Now, as for the side, I lean a little bit with Texas. I like their the fact that they've got my number one rated defense. I think Ohio State lost a little more on defense than Texas did, but I think it's going to be a great game.
He is Phil Steele. Get him at Phil Steele 042 on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Tennessee and Syracuse are going to play a neutral site game. It's going to be a lot of orange there in Atlanta. Everyone wants to know what Tennessee is going to look like post Nico Iamaleava with Joey Aguilar coming in. And they get a challenge here with Fran Brown's Syracuse team. But Tennessee, Phil, a 13.5-point favorite at this neutral site game. How do you see it?
Yeah, and if you're breaking down the offenses, Matt, both teams lost a lot from last year. You look at Syracuse, they lost their star quarterback, who, of course, went to the NFL. And when you look at Tennessee, my question mark would be Aguilar is learning his third offense in 1 year. He had to do the App State offense and the UCLA offense, now the Tennessee offense. They also lose their top running back from last year, a couple of their top receivers, and a good portion of their offensive line. So I think both offenses have question marks. Now, I do not have any question marks on Tennessee's defense. I think they have a large edge defensively. I also think they have a large edge on special teams. If you check out my special teams rankings in the front of the magazine, big edge to Tennessee. And I think they'll have the crowd edge as well. While there's going to be a lot of orange, I think there's going to be more Vol orange than there will Syracuse. So I think with the crowd, the defense, and the special teams, I'm willing to lay the 13.5 here. I'll take Tennessee.
All right, a couple more here before we break, and we'll get into the evening games and, of course, the Sunday, Monday games as well. But, Phil, I am not a root for the conference guy. I would love to see Florida State pull an upset that would have the whole college football world buzzing. Not sure that's going to happen. The Noles that lines up to 14.5 now. Bama favored on the road in Tallahassee. Can Florida State keep it close?
I like the Tide here. Now, keep in mind, I've got Florida State, my number one most improved team in the country. So I think you're going to see Florida State go from 2 wins to maybe 8, potentially 9 wins this year. This ain't one of them. When you look at Alabama, if you go back to last year with Alabama, I think there was a Saban players on the team and DeBoer players on the team, and maybe they didn't mesh. This year when the transfer portal opened, nobody left. They're all back practically, and all the units rank in my top 10 in the front of the magazine. I'm talking running backs, receivers, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, DBs, loaded with NFL talent throughout. And then Ty Simpson, he was my number 3 rated quarterback coming out of high school. He's been at Alabama now in his 3rd year there. Looked great in the Manning Passing Academy. It might be a better fit for the Alabama offense than was Jalen Milroe. They bring in Ryan Grubb as the offensive coordinator. Coming over, great success with DeBoer at Washington, getting all the way to the national championship game. So add it all up, I got Bama by more than 2 touchdowns in this one. But I think Florida State, after this game, will be a much improved team this year. They're just taking on the wrong opponent at the wrong time.
Phil, do you know offhand what Florida State's projected win total is if someone wants to play that for the season long?
I believe it was 7.5.
Okay, so you like the over.
I like the over on Florida State. Yes, okay. I think they are my number one most improved team.
Okay. One more here before we break. A G5 who could crash the playoff party is Tulane, right down the street from us. Northwestern of the Big Ten going down to Tulane to play this game in Uptown New Orleans. The Wave, a 4.5-point favorite. This could be a pretty nice statement win against a Power 4 team if Tulane can get it. Does John Sumrall's team get that big win?
Yeah, that number's really been coming down too, hasn't it? I think it opened up at 7, and is now you're saying it's all the way down to 4.5. Wow,
that's what I'm showing right now. Yeah.
Yeah, when you look at Tulane, I think John Summerall's doing a tremendous job there. Last year, at one point, they were dominant. They were a money machine for me. I was winning with Tulane each week, and they were just blowing out opponents. Then they had the conference clinched when they played Memphis. They were already going to play Army in the title game. They lost that game. Then they lost to Army, and with a depleted team, lost the bowl game. But I think when you look at Tulane, they're the favorites to win the American this year. They look solid. Summerall's done a great job building them. They're going to be tough. But, Northwestern's a good team as well. Northwestern had a good defense last year. Their problem was they just didn't have an offense, couldn't really throw the ball. But they bring in Preston Stone from SMU, and I think that's a big-time addition. In fact, David Braun feels for the first time in a long time they've got themselves probably their best offense in maybe 12 years that they've had there. Last year, they were the lowest-scoring P4 offense in the nation. So with Preston Stone coming in, they've got a couple of guys on the offensive line who are NFL prospects, and Caleb Turner at left tackle and Evan Bernstein at right guard. The defense is solid. I think it's going to be a great game. So I'm taking the points in that one, and an upset wouldn't surprise me. But I do think Tulane's in for a really good year.
PhilSteele.com, STEELE, PhilSteele.com. Make sure you get to YouTube, take that Phil Steele Plus tour. We're going to knock out a quick break, get to the afternoon, evening games, and, of course, the big one with LSU and Clemson when we continue with Phil Steele. We're live from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. Don't you move.
AFR.
River City's 1 hour air where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001 or 1hourbr.com. You know where to find them. The weekend is here. It's a college football weekend, and this may feel like a holiday to you and me and all of us, but it's still 100 degrees outside. And if you got an issue with your AC, it doesn't matter that it's a Friday night or a Saturday or a Sunday. River City's 1 hour air, they're always on call, and they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. So you have issues while you're watching. You got a big game watch party Saturday night for LSU Clemson. You wake up Saturday morning and your AC's blowing hot. No worries. Call River City's 1 hour air. They will be out on Saturday. Big yellow vans and trucks all over town. You see them everywhere because everybody trusts River City's 1 hour air just like I do. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Week 1 is here. We're previewing all the games with Phil Steele. Of course, PhilSteele.com. Get to YouTube. Take the Phil Steele Plus tour. Love these conversations we've been able to have for so many years every Friday with Phil Steele previewing the biggest games across the college football landscape. Phil, let's go out west. A team without a home, Oregon State. They're getting Cal in Corvallis. That's Cal of the noted ACC opponent, Cal, who's heading up to Oregon State in Corvallis. The Beavs, a 1.5-point favorite in Corvallis at home. How do you see it there in the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah, spread's nice and cheap for this one. And when you look at Oregon State, I thought last year their head coach, Trent Bray, was in his first year, had a really inexperienced team, just one starter back on D, 4 on offense. And he came into the season saying, playoffs are bust. We're going to make the playoffs this year. They opened up 4-1. Their only loss to Oregon. Looked good. Then things started going south. They lost late loss to Nevada, late loss to UNLV, and then their season turned south. Well, this year, much more experienced team. The goals are more reasonable, and I think he learned a little bit in his second year. They bring in Malik Murphy from Duke, and I like this talent Oregon State has. Now, they had been one of the best home favorites in college football. Last year, they were just 4-3 at home, and 1-3 as a home favorite. But I think they get back to that level, which is dominant at home. You got the chainsaws going on third down when they're playing. And Cal's a rebuilt team this year. They lost a lot of players to the transfer portal, lost a lot of players to the transfer portal after spring practice was over. Oregon State playing with a little bit of revenge. While Cal beat them 44-7 last year, I think Oregon State turns the tables and very happy. We're laying less than 3 points in this game. I like the Beavers to win the game.
All right. Phil taking Oregon State at home. Another one out west, and this is a big one with Utah, who was very disappointing a year ago, looking for a bounce back, heading to the Rose Bowl to take on UCLA. This is a 10 o'clock Central Time kick, so it's a late-night Fox game which is fantastic because we just get football all day and night. But Utah at UCLA, where the Utes are a 6.5-point road choice.
Yeah, and I've got Utah as one of the favorites to win the Big 12. I think they bounce back and live up to the expectations they had last year. Remember last year, it was will Cam Rising play, won't he play? And heck, by the end of the year, they were down to a fifth-string quarterback starting their final 2 games. Well, this year, when I talked to Coach Whittingham, went over the squad with him, he said that he feels this is the best offensive line he's had in 21 years. And Matt, he's had some pretty good offensive lines. And also defense, there's never a question with Utah. Quarterback, they bring in Devin Dampier coming in from New Mexico, along with New Mexico's offensive coordinator. And I think if you added up all the individual pieces New Mexico had on offense last year, no way do they average what they did. They were much more potent. So I think Dampier's got a better supporting cast than he had at New Mexico last year, and they look pretty good. Now, UCLA's not going to be easy. I think UCLA's an underrated team. You look at who they lost to early last year. They lost to Indiana, playoff team, at LSU. That's not a bad loss. Oregon at home, playoff team. At Penn State, playoff team. They opened up 1-5 playing a brutal schedule, then played better down the stretch. But I still think Utah's the better team, and I think the Utes travel well when they play here in L.A., so I think Utah's going to make up a good portion of the crowd. I like Utah to get this one by over a touchdown.
Phil, when LSU played UCLA in the Rose Bowl a couple of years back in 2021, and we went and made that trip, one of the things we learned is UCLA students aren't even back yet at that point, so you're probably right. That should be a pretty heavy Utah crowd at the Rose Bowl on Saturday night. We'll come back to LSU Clemson to wrap, but let me ask you about the 2 games on Sunday, and we'll start with Virginia Tech, South Carolina. The Gamecocks, a lot of hype around Lenora Sellers. Can they build on a 9-win season? 7.5-point favorite, the Gamecocks over Virginia Tech. Is this a big win in Atlanta for Shane Beamer's squad to kick off the season?
Yeah, I like Virginia Tech to keep it closer than expected. When you look at the 2 teams, if I'm Kyron Drones, Virginia Tech's quarterback, he's sort of similar to Sellers in a lot of respects. And he's not getting any of the pub. It's all Lenora Sellers. So I think he's probably itching to have a good game here. And plus, when you look at South Carolina, while Lenora Sellers is back, I thought the strength of South Carolina last year was their defensive front 7. They were just absolutely dominant at times. And now they lose 6 of their 7 guys from up front. I think they'll be less dominant with the defensive front 7. Virginia Tech underachieved last year and had a lot of close losses. I think they're capable of keeping this one under a touchdown. I do like South Carolina to get the game, but maybe by a field goal or so. So I think Virginia Tech plus the points is the play there.
Especially with that hook. Love that 7.5 if you're going to take it. I get it now. Okay, Notre Dame, Miami, the old Catholics versus convicts reunion here, Phil. It's a true home game for Miami there at South Beach at Hard Rock Stadium. Notre Dame, a 2.5-point favorite. Phil, it's a top 10 matchup. Man, lots of new, especially at quarterback with both Miami and Notre Dame. The Irish favorite on the road. They got the right team favored?
I think so. And, you go back to last year, Notre Dame played in a lot of big games, won against a lot of ranked teams, advanced all the way to the championship game. And, heck, you wonder what it would have been like in the championship game had they not been down their top defensive lineman, their top offensive lineman, and their top running back only had, 3 carries for 2 yards in the game. He was all banged up. It was a banged-up Notre Dame that lost to Ohio State. Well, they're fully healthy for this. They've added in C.J. Carr, a quarterback. And Carr doesn't have to go out and win this game by himself. They got my number 3 rated offensive line, the number 2 set of running backs in the country, so they're a very strong team there. Defensively, they got one of the better defenses in the country. And if you look at Miami last year, they won some close games where Cam Ward led them to late wins and big comebacks. And also, they didn't defeat a single ranked team last year. Now, I think Cristobal's doing a great job building Miami of Florida, like the talent level. I think they're an ACC title contender. I just think Notre Dame's a step above and have played in the bigger games and won the bigger games. So I'm going with the Irish. And once again, spreads are very important. When you're laying less than a field goal, you basically just have to win the game.
Phil Steele at Phil Steele 042. After our appetizer, our entree, dessert, maybe a little after dinner drink is what we're going to get on Monday with TCU at North Carolina. The Horned Frogs are a 3.5-point road favorite in Chapel Hill. Bill Belichick's debut. Curious what you're thinking about Belichick's debut there on a Monday night in Chapel Hill.
I'm going to let you pick this one, Matt, because I'm just going to sit back with some popcorn and see what the heck Bill Belichick puts on the field, because he's got 70 new players. He is a hell of a head coach. Yeah. You wonder how quickly he gets these guys together. But if anybody can, it's Belichick, right? I do think TCU is probably the better team. But, I mean, you got Belichick at home getting 3.5 with pretty good roster. I like Gio Lopez, the quarterback. Who do you like in this game, Matt?
I'm not betting against Bill Belichick. No way. I mean, you give Belichick 3.5 at home, 3 and hook at home. Yes, I think the greatest coach ever will probably find a way to win his home opener there at North Carolina. Knowing not an eighth about either of those rosters that you do, I'll side with home field advantage and the greatest coach ever.
And what's interesting here, Matt, is that if you look at North Carolina's schedule, they actually have one of the best schedules in the ACC. They avoid almost all the big boys. They do play Clemson, but they play the majority of the bottom teams in the league. So whoever gave North Carolina the schedule must have been a Belichick fan. And I think North Carolina's got the potential, if they win this game, to get to 9 or 10 wins this year.
All right, Phil, before you get out of here, it's the game we've been talking about here for darn near a year now, certainly for 9 months, ever since LSU beat Baylor in the bowl game. It's been all about LSU and Clemson. The battle of the Death Valleys, however you want to phrase it. LSU's lost 5 straight openers. Clemson's lost their last 2 openers, 2 fifth-year senior quarter. All the storylines we've talked about. It's time to tee it up, kick it off, and play the game. How do you see it Saturday night in Clemson, South Carolina, with Clemson as right now a 3.5-point favorite over LSU?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to be a great game. You have 2 of the premier teams in the country, and boy, the winner really sets themselves up well. When I look at this matchup, Matt, I think defensively I'm going to give a slight edge to Clemson. You just have too much NFL talent on that side of the ball. They bring in Tom Allen as the defensive coordinator. And when you look at last year, they gave up 374 yards per game. I think they're going to be much improved there. Quarterbacks, I'd rate them even. Receiving cores, very close as well. Offensive line, I'm going to give the edge to Clemson. They've got more experience returning. In fact, they're my number 2 rated offensive line in the country. When you look at LSU, they lost a lot of offensive linemen to the NFL, and you wonder a little bit about the replacements, especially in a first road start. So that would be a question for me. So add it all up, I'm just really bullish on Clemson. So I'm going to lean with Clemson in this one. However, I will say this. If LSU wins this game, holy cow, look out the rest of the year, because they'll be favored over Florida. They'll be favored at Ole Miss all the way through. At Alabama should be a big game. But LSU all of a sudden becomes a legitimate top 5 team right out of the box if they pull off the upset here. Probably a top 3 team because Clemson's right up there.
Phil, do you have a feel on the total in this game?
I do not.
Okay.
I mean, I could make a case maybe a little bit for the over in the fact that if I was to see a weakness in the Clemson defense, it might be at safety. And LSU's got so much speed at receiver. You got 2 veteran quarterbacks. What is the total on the game, Matt?
It's gone up to 50. It was at 56.5. It's at 57.5 last I checked. I'm looking to see if there's an updated number. Man, if that keeps climbing, I'm with you. I think both these defenses are going to be really good. I might thinking a lean toward the under, but that's why I was asking if you had a strong feel in one way or another on it.
We'll go with Matt's lean on that one. 57. I see 57.5. We'll let you pick that one, Matt.
Phil, it's our pleasure, man. I love being able to do this, and I love being able to push people toward your YouTube channel and PhilSteele.com and the Phil Steele Plus Tour, and of course the Phil Steele magazine, which is the Bible that everybody who loves college football reads every single year. It's a rite of passage from the off season into fall camp. So, what do people need to know right now about the Phil Steele Plus Tour?
Oh, I appreciate that, Matt. Real quick with the magazine, get it before it's sold out at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Those are the only 2 locations you can get it. 360 pages, like getting 136 media guides rolled into one. Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Now, the Phil Steele Plus Tour is up right now. It's got some selections up for you. Did very well last year. And we'll have it up each and every week on Thursdays. And also this year, Matt, you look at LSU in the 4th game of the season, they're playing Southeastern. I actually have 2 full pages on every FCS team in my digital FCS magazine, which is available right now at philsteele.com.
philsteele.com, STEELE, philsteele.com. By the way, the Phil Steele Plus Tour, the video link is embedded right there on the homepage. So it'll link you to the tour on YouTube. But trust me when I tell you, watch the video, subscribe to Phil's channel, set notifications, because as soon as that thing goes live, people are going to bet it and lines will move. So it's important to get on the Phil Steele Plus Tour early. So make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and hit the bell so you're notified whenever Phil posts a video there. Phil, we're looking forward to doing this every Friday, man. It's our pleasure to have you. Thanks so much for the time. Enjoy the football this weekend.
Hey, Matt, always great talking to you, my friend. Have yourself a great weekend.
You do the same. We'll do it again next week. He is the one and only Phil Steele. This is After Further Review. We are live today from Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. Show's brought to you by Pinhook Bourbon. Y'all come on by, smoke you a cigar, get you a wonderful craft cocktail made with Pinhook Bourbon, or drink it neat rocks. Experience what they have to offer. Go to pinhookbourbon.com, pinhookbourbon.com, or find it at great local retailers near you. We're here at Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by our friends at Pinhook Bourbon. We'll knock out a quick break, wrap up hour number 1. Our tailgate segment returns next on AFR.
AFR.
We are 1 week away from the first home football Friday of the 2025 season. And that means that the LSU Tigers will relocate from football ops on campus to football ops at Renaissance Baton Rouge. That's right. The home away from home for every home game for LSU football is Renaissance Baton Rouge. I say it often, but it's true. If Renaissance Baton Rouge could host the entire LSU football program the Friday before a home game, don't you think they could host whatever event you've got coming up? It's Renaissance Baton Rouge, right there on Bluebonnet, across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row. You got family, friends, relatives, whatever it may be, co-workers, colleagues coming in from out of town for a football game. Make sure they book at Renaissance Baton Rouge. Always a great spot to pop in, experience Tallulah inside of Renaissance Baton Rouge. And if you got an event coming up, best place to host it is at Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. At LSU, we play hard, but we tailgate harder. Light your burner, fire up the grill. It's time for our Football Friday tailgate recipe of the week with Chris's Specialty Foods. 4 locations, or go to chrisspecialtyfoods.com.
Wrapping up hour number 1 from Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. We may be out of studio, but Coben found us. You better believe it. It's the first Football Friday, and we got our Football Friday tailgate segment courtesy of Chris's. How are you, man?
Good, brother. I'm glad to be back another year. Let's get it going.
I am glad to have you back. All right, so the Tigers are playing the Tigers. Normally we do like the eat the competition thing. I don't know how we're eating Tigers. We don't want to eat our own. So what did you cook up for us today?
Yeah, absolutely. I put together a little platter. We'll save the best for last.
Okay.
We'll start right here with our crawfish bread. We have a French-style crawfish bread that we toast, and we do a spinach and crawfish and cheese topping. It's really good.
Look at this, man. That is so heavy, too. That's cheese, crawfish,
cream
spinach.
cheese, a bunch of cheese, and then a spinach and crawfish topping makes a great appetizer.
Oh, my God. Really appetizer. Good. Coben, I could eat one of these is a meal, man. How heavy that is. That ain't no appetizer, bro.
And yeah, next we got our crawfish boudin. If you love crawfish etouffee, it's the same thing. We just put it in sausage casing. Get you some of that. And then next we have our jalapeno chicken sausage, and then we saved our best for last. We have something actually called tiger sausage. It's obviously not tiger meat. It is a spicy pork sausage with hot sauce, Worcestershire, and cheddar cheese. You throw that on the smoker. If you love spicy, it's unbelievable.
Do they eat tiger anywhere in the world?
I don't know. I hope not.
We think that would be a little gamey, maybe?
Yes, yeah, just a little.
Okay. Can confirm the crawfish bread is awesome. And I cheated because before we came on, I had a piece of tiger sausage. So I intermittent fast, not to bore everybody, but this is the first bite of food I've had all day. So maybe the tiger sausage tasted awesome because it's the first bite of food I've had all day, or maybe it's really that freaking good. What is tiger sausage? What is this?
Yeah, so it's
I went with this is spicy mustard?
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's one of our most popular sausage. It's a pork sausage, and then we once we grind it all together, we add Cajun hot sauce, shredded cheddar cheese, Worcestershire, and we chop up fresh jalapenos and throw that in there, so it's got a good kick to it.
Man, it's got. So is the spice from the mustard or from the sausage?
It would be from the sausage. It's
it's
a little bit on the spicy side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hot sauce and chopped up jalapenos in there.
Got it, man. So I thought maybe that spice was coming from that mustard, but no, it's from the
sausage.
The sausage. That's fantastic. I'll try the other one too. This what is this again?
That's crawfish boudin. So if you like crawfish, Louisiana crawfish etouffee, we make that. and then we put it into sausage casing, shoot it, so you don't have to, all the prep time of crawfish etouffee, you have it already cooked.
I love it, dude. And so I was telling you, that looks almost like a sushi roll.
Yes, it's very light color with our crawfish roux, and it's very good.
It looks awesome, man. Chris's Specialty Foods, chrisspecialtyfoods.com is where you can go to the website, locations, menus. And you told me also this year y'all are delivering to tailgates?
Yeah. So if times and everything works out, you can call into our Highland location, and we will be bringing hot, fresh food to some tailgates this year for home games. So if everything works out, timing and everything, we will be delivering to tailgates on campus.
Is it too early to start talking about I know holiday orders and stuff? Are we early for that?
No, it's getting that time. Especially there's always a shortage of turkeys and everything. We have already started that and taking orders. Any beef orders, turkey orders, sides orders, we are already getting planned for that.
And then what about deer processing?
Yep, absolutely. Deer season starts in Louisiana October 1st. We plan on doing almost 1,000 deer again this year. So all locations will be taking in deer.
So we got a month, but you can bring the deer, and then y'all take care of everything.
Yep, everything will be done in-house.
It's at Chris's Specialty Foods, 4 locations. Again, you go to the website at chrisspecialtyfoods.com, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. Which of these pairs best with Pinhook bourbon?
For this week, let's go with the tiger sausage.
If you want to go, if you want to offset the spice of the tiger sausage, I don't know, well, rye tends to be spicier. Maybe you want to go with the cask strength bourbon. Match power with power right there.
There we go.
I love the option right there. Of course, this is the Core 3 of Pinhook. They're sponsoring our show here today at Don Juan Cigar Bar, so come hang out with us here at Don Juan. And Coben's going to leave this platter, so if you're lucky, before everybody just gorges on this thing and it's gone, you can sample some of this as well. All right, man. We got about a minute. LSU at Clemson. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah. I think first game of the year, I think offenses are going to be a little slow. I don't think they're going to come out clicking. If LSU offensive line can hold up versus Clemson's stud defensive line, I think we'll be all right. I'm going to go 28-24. LSU. I think it's going to come down to the last drive, and I think our defense is going to come through and win us the football game.
And I would love to see it. By the way, spoken like a guy that moonlights as a high school football coach as well. Elijah Haven, he doesn't stink.
No, he's pretty special to watch on Fridays.
Yeah, man. He gets an up-close and personal view over there with the Dunham School. Coben Linedecker from over at Chris's. Of course, love the Highland location. That's basically where Terrio eats lunch every day. I got to see
day, yeah.
Trust me, I know. It's close to the parish office. We're in there a lot. All right, chrisspecialtyfoods.com, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. It's our tailgate segment, courtesy of Chris's. Appreciate you, Coben.
Absolutely.
We'll do this
Thank you, Matt.
Well, of course, we'll do it all throughout the football season. It is after further review. We are here at Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center, courtesy of Pinhook Bourbon. Y'all come on by, see us over here at Don Juan. Get you a pour of Pinhook Bourbon, maybe a craft cocktail. Hour 2 coming up next.
AFR.
Love telling you about our friends over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Y'all, football season is here. Of course, if you are going to be watching the game tomorrow at your house with LSU and Clemson, remember our friends over at Rouse's are helping you all football season long. They like to say they're covering the spread. So if you need your beer, if you need your wine, if you need your bourbon like Pinhook Bourbon, go get it over at Rouse's. They have everything you need, from something to throw on the grill to all of your desserts to the floral arrangements for your centerpieces. It's at Rouse's. And, of course, if you're making groceries with your mom and them, they've been helping you make groceries for 65 years over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Y'all, football season is here. If you need whatever for football season, or if you just need to go check off that grocery list, our friends at Rouse's have got you covered. So download the Rouse's app or go to Rouse's.com. 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 Rouse's. This feels like home.